Can't let these guys get inside me. We have to defend our base. Okay, this is gonna be close. We need at least 10 gold. They're getting so close to the base. Okay, you know what? 5 will do. Let's build the archer tower. There we go.
I gotta tell you, I was actually pretty shocked when I saw this, that what the Secretary of Defense did, and it was largely unseen by most people, what he wore in front of Zelensky, I thought was just so telling. And Ben Shapiro is finally speaking up against his own party. It's kind of fascinating to see. I do think we're probably in a space where in about a year or two, Ben Shapiro is probably going to become an independent. I don't think he can stay in MAGA for much longer. I'm going to show you why. And it's all because of stuff like this, where this is after the fact that leaked text messages from the Political report that came out this past week, where young Republicans who are 18 or 40 said the most racist, vile stuff imaginable. And then you had Mike Davis here, who is a prominent Republican, calling Hakeem Jeffries a house slave. What else can be said? This is who they are, from the very top to the very bottom. Not all people who vote Republican are like this, but I would say all elected Republicans support this. And if they're not speaking out against it, then they're complicit. Now, I'll tell you who actually is not complicit in this is Ben Shapiro. He actually chastised the rest of his team live on camera over the fact that they were coming to the defense of those awful racist texts.
Again, I'm not even disagreeing with the motivations of the Politico story. In fact, even on my show today, I talked about the motivations of the Politico story, which, Matt, I agree, are completely scurrilous and designed to distract from the sort of violent rhetoric we've seen from the left. But it has led to, I think, a reactionary response on some parts of the right to say there should be no policing ever at all. No social consequences should ever attend to things that are said on the right, that it's basically just pure my side versus your side. The problem I have is, number one, I think that's immoral, and number two, I don't think that's pragmatic. I don't think that's moral because I think that there are things that get said on the right that are really, really, really ugly, and pretending those away doesn't make them go away. I think that they're rising. I think that they're getting more common. I know that my death threats from that side are getting more common. I know I have more security because of that, and it's not just from the left. I have lots of security from the left, and I also get lots of security from the right. Matt, I think a little bit earlier today you tweeted that kind of your litmus test is the people who are trying to kill you, and I totally get that. I also have that litmus test. The difference is that I think that if somebody tries to kill you, Matt, there's a good shot that it's going to be a leftist. If somebody tries to kill me, it's a frickin' Agatha Christie novel. I just don't know which direction the bullet is coming from at this point, given the sort of various and sundry radical extremes that exist. I'm not going to say that the right is equivalent to the left in this respect, because I don't think it's been mainstreamed to nearly the same effect on the right that it has been on the left. But to pretend that it has not infiltrated a lot of very important spaces, I think is sort of whistling past the graveyard.
All right, notice he has to do all that fucking work just to do equivalences when we all know that the vast majority of all political violence happens on the right. The difference is actually that on the left, we want to stop all political violence, whether it's on the left or the right. The right only cares about violence when they use it and weaponize it against the people on the other side of the aisle. Whereas we kind of just want to make it so people don't get hurt. That's kind of how we roll. I wish they were like that. Now, Ben Shapiro is in a long ways saying here that he is basically exposing a little bit of what a lot of the right, a lot of elected officials, a lot of prominent Republicans are trying to say isn't happening. And that he said that a lot of the political violence that is threatened against him doesn't come from the left. It comes from the right. And that makes sense. I mean, it is really interesting. Remember, what was that, 2 weeks ago? A Mormon church suffered a awful attack, and it was a Trump supporter. And then we never heard about it again, did we? But, and I want to show you something because this went viral recently. This is from 9 years ago. I mean, first off, you're going to watch this and be like, wow, Donald Trump is a completely different person today, just in terms of style, energy, speaking capacity. Also, it's not even how he's saying it, it's what he's saying. The Republican Party has completely changed. Here, watch this.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me. And I have to say, as a Republican, it is so nice to hear you cheering for what I just said. Thank you.
And another way that the Republican Party has changed is they're wanting to embrace Russia. And something happened a couple days ago where President Zelensky met with Donald Trump, hoping to get more support. He didn't find it. What he did find was the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, wearing a Russian tie. As someone said here, he's a Russian asset. And even the Russians picked up on it. And they said, too, it is a Russian tie. Now, the American flag is red, white, and blue. It would start here. Red, white, blue. Okay? The Russian flag is white, blue, red. White, blue, red. So it is very... I don't think there are coincidences with this sort of stuff. I think he was intentionally doing this. I don't know if it's because he wants to send a message or just because he's trolling. But he did this purposefully. I know that for sure. He purposefully did this. Now, J.D. Vance weighed in on this because I guess he can't go through a controversy with not giving his opinion. He said, or maybe he was wearing the colors of America. No, again, white, blue, red. That is Russia. Red, white, blue, America. And someone else said here, Pete Hegseth showed up to the White House meeting today with President Zelensky wearing a Russian tricolor flag tie. These people love Putin in Russia. So you let me know what you think when you see that. I think it's very clear that it's very intentional. I don't think there's any coincidences with this sort of stuff. I think it's appalling. I think even if, let's say on the off chance, Pete Hegseth didn't mean to do that and it was a mistake, then I think it also just speaks to the level of detail we're getting from this administration and Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense, that he didn't see that, or someone around him didn't see that and say, hey, Pete, you might want to change your tie. It doesn't look good. It just doesn't make sense to me that he wouldn't notice or someone else wouldn't notice and they wouldn't say, unless, again, they intended it or they were trolling or he said, oh, I don't care. It'll make for a good news clip. All right, and then I want to end with this because I think it's very odd, but this is what Donald Trump calls his son.
Obviously, there are investment projects happening in Indonesia. First off, have you heard from the president? Has he called you?
No, not about that, but I'm glad he acknowledges that I'm a good boy. I am a good boy.
Good boy. Okay. Thanks, Daddy. Well, thank you. Am I a good boy? If so, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey bro, what you doing? I'm keeping it warm. Why? It's summer. Because it's a whiteout survival. And I'm keeping it warm. And there is a blizzard coming. Oh my god, let's go. Damn, he need help, but he ain't getting from me. But I will steal his wood because I need to build a bigger place. Sorry, but I gotta do everything I can to survive. Wood, food, water. I'm gonna be attacking everybody in the whiteout survival. I don't care if you're human play or an animal. I'm the person you need to watch out for because I will be sitting on the side. And I don't care how long you have been playing the game. I'll tear down your fort and steal everything you got. I'll steal your mans and merge them together to make my mans. You better watch out because I'm coming for all of you. Download Whiteout Survival for free right now.
2 ships set sail, carrying a young republic's hope. That spirit sailed on, growing stronger through innovation and partnerships between Navy visionaries and daring shipwrights. Mid-19th century, America's first ironclad that stormed through the battle line proved technology would forever steer naval might. The Battle of Midway was more than a victory. It changed the course of naval history. Precision, courage, and revolutionary carrier strategy turned the tide and launched a new era of sea power. After World War II, the U.S. Navy accelerated its tradition of innovation and collaboration with technical visionaries, once again asserting its maritime leadership. In the Cold War's deep waters, the USS Nautilus, nuclear-powered and silent, commanded sea lanes and heralded an era of unrivaled stability. For 250 years, the U.S. Navy has turned challenge into opportunity, inspired by every service member who has answered the call. From ironclads to nuclear submarines, innovation has safeguarded peace on the open seas. As the world evolves, the spirit of collaboration across generations of service will continue to guide the fleets of tomorrow. Built on the work of pioneers, we're shaping what's next with transformative solutions. As a trusted partner, Hanwha is providing integrated, future-ready solutions.